Welcome to the Santa Land Podcast. I created it just for you. I'm your host, Tony Felice. In each episode, I'll read for 10 minutes from my book, and then we'll talk about what we just heard. Like the cricket in my story, I'll take you through a grown-up fairy tale, exploring ideas of existence, identity, and the soul's journey through trauma and the transformative power of love. At the end, you'll have heard my whole story, a sneak peek into the creative process. Maybe we'll read other books together. For now, follow the wise cricket and discover the Santa Land within yourself, a place of hope, connection, and peace that's already inside of you. This podcast is especially made for those who feel weird or don't seem to fit in by talking about math at weddings or philosophy at funerals, and in my case, have a loving husband, or perhaps you have a loving wife or somebody else that loves you. If not, we're here to love you because you're in good company in Santa Land. Okay, well, my goodness, if you are still here, then you know that we are now on to Chapter 8. And thank you so much for joining us. Well, joining me. Right now, I'm the only person in the room. But anyway, let's move forward. This is Chapter 8. Tom writes it down. Tom sat at his desk in the library off the bedroom. He began writing with a pen in a leather-bound book. Dear Journal. Scratch that. Dear David, this is for you as much as it is for me. I can hear you in my mind telling me what to do here. That's what I love about you. Not only do you understand how I'm built, but you know how to describe me back to me, so matter-of-factly, the way you do. Like a benevolent android, you hold your emotions in, and you just give love and service in return. How? I remember asking you why you're so thoughtful all the time. It was almost as if I had asked you a tough math question, because for you, the answer is simple. You don't have to think of it. You do it because that's who you are. You have no agenda, David, except to serve. And Lord knows, many people have taken advantage of us in the world. That my desire has been twisted as a result. So I rely on you. You remind me of goodness and God. Do I have to go into all the other things in this journal? Am I supposed to use this to get it out of my system once and for all? To release these demons that have a hold on me and messed up my life? As if I'm held hostage by their actions in more than just a physical sense, but in Stockholm Syndrome, where I continue to feed them with my energy, my attention. The things that piled up are horrible. The fan that nearly destroyed my face, the stalker that almost kidnapped me, our financial loss. All of that is sort of no match for the worst of it. I know I put a lot of my hurt in my books. Not because I wish to dissect these demons, but because I wish to be free of them. But more, I hope it will come to me in the weeks that follow. I do have a service mentality too, but it's simpler. I'm only good at one thing: putting stories out that remind people of their goodness. and their ability to survive anything. I don't write thrillers or horror. They say I do, but I don't. I write about people in horrible situations. It's made us famous. And I know they give hope to others in their own silly way. That's the reason I write. And I'm so grateful for all of it. The abundance, all of it. But I'm missing something really important after all these years. I haven't put two and two together. And I feel as if maybe that's because 2 and 2 make 9, and I can't figure out why. Maybe it's justice. I'm a Libra. No one has ever apologized to me for the wrongs. And it was when I had no power that I needed it the most. And now that I have resources available to me, I find that I am more circumspect, that I demand answers, if not from them, from myself. But how should I begin? How would I even start? What's the first word to put on the page to let some of these beasts go into the darkness? Why have I endured? Why do any of us? And where is my God in all of this? Do you really want me to go there? Really? I'm not going to tell the awful stuff, but I guess I have to tell some of it. Otherwise, who cares about me? Other than you and myself. I remember it was one of those autumn days. I was 7. The crisp kind of day where you almost see your breath, and I could smell leaves. A memory smell that lives with you long after you jump into your first pile and you make leaf angels in the yard. That's what I was doing with my friend Joe. But it got late and we were having so much fun in the leaves. T.S. I can imagine you probably heard a plane flying overhead as I was reading that. And I went ahead and left it because it's sort of a metaphor. I mean, we open with Tom trying to keep his thoughts with a plane flying over, and here I am trying to keep my thoughts as I speak to you with a plane flying over. And I keep going because some of these things I don't want to read more than once. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure I'll read this again, maybe. If I do an audiobook, I'll probably hire somebody. And some of these things were hard enough to write as it is, let alone read them out loud more than once. So you'll have to bear with me. I'm trying to get through these. I don't want to say I get through them. I am attempting to share with you these stories in small bite-sized ways. And there's going to be lots more for me to talk about as we get further into the book. But I don't know how many of you keep a journal, but I will tell you that keeping a journal is what has kept me alive, I think, for the last couple of years. I say kept me alive, and I mean kept me living in a way that I feel functioning, that I can find ways that I can move through reality with some grace and some finesse. And part of it is writing my thoughts down in journal format. But the biggest cathartic thing for me was writing this book and sitting here and allowing the words to come through me rather than forcing the words. And I decided to have Tom tell the worst of it to David privately, as much as possible, so that it really reflects the way reality is. Not a lot of people get a microphone and talk about terrible things, but lots of people have a microphone and talk about terrible things. There's irony in that. If you haven't noticed, Tom is struggling with grief, and he's also struggling with his past, something that has not been revealed yet. And for someone this successful to have had this much acclaim and to have this much abundance around them, for them to be struggling shows you that this is not the kind of thing that you can run from, folks. It doesn't matter how much you have or how little you have. Your perspective will be colored by both experiences. It's not about one being more important than the other one. I think that it's about the reality that we come to grips with our past, much like the circular reference that the cricket shares earlier, that things come full circle. And love is often understood more profoundly in reverse. But I tell you, when you're in love, you feel it forward. I mean, there is nothing else in the world that compares to that feeling of love. And that's what I'm hoping to capture in a bottle, that feeling of love that's ever expansive in a world where it seems so finite. And so as we move through each one of these stories and we talk about what they mean, and or I share my personal experience, I hope that you find some comfort in that, and that it's something that, makes you want to come back, hopefully, and check out Chapter 9. So thanks again for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And that'll be it for this episode. Thanks.